When growing up, we were all hounded by our parents to live right and do things the way their culture permitted. The female child was the one that got more of the stick. Today we'll be discussing why are men chronic cheaters? Is it due to their upbringing or it's just in their DNA? I'm E.N.E.C.Y and you're welcome to Amebo FC. Today on the show, I'll be having a very special guest. And I say special literally because he's my brother. His name is George Ipoga. George has a degree in sociology, currently doing his master's, and he also has a book coming out. He has gotten so many researches on the human, the way we behave, why we behave the way we behave, and all those yabby. Very intelligent guy, and we'll be diving into the topic of why he thinks men are chronic cheaters and why it can be curbed. Please, if you're not too busy, stay tuned. George, how are you doing?
Very fine, very fine.
Thank you, and lovely to have you on my boy FC. Today we'll be discussing. I don't want us to be too formal, so
Okay.
let's just be relaxed and just enjoy ourselves today.
Yeah.
So today we'll be talking about why are men chronic cheaters? What is the cause? Is it that it's in our DNA, or we're just planted, greedy folks that just want to put our stuff in everything we see? There's this ideology that says if the gender is the problem, then the people with the same sex will still not be having problem. Do you get?
Yeah.
Because everybody has problems. Same sex still complain about cheating. Both male and female. The opposite sex still complain about cheating. So,
Very true.
I just want you to really want to discuss about it.
Okay.
So, first of all, the first question is: do you think a man can be faithful?
Very true. Very much true. Yes.
Okay, but is it easy?
Nothing is easy when it comes to relationships. Human beings are fickle.
Okay.
When you are trying to relate with people, just understand that human beings are fickle. I did a research on personality in 2019, and
Okay.
it shows that human beings, we change over time. We're dynamic. We're really dynamic. We change. That's why you see different aspects of people in marriage, different aspects of your wife. You see different phases at every point during childbirth, after childbirth, when they're pregnant, you see different phases. So we're fickle.
So I understand you there. So because of the changes in men, or let's say in women also,
Yeah.
you cannot really determine if this man is going to be faithful
Yes.
or not.
Yes.
Because the world has this slogan, "Men has come," right? Because you see someone so beautiful, so nice at home, but he still goes out to look for something else. And when you ask the guy, "How far?" and he's like, "I still love my wife." So it's really sometimes I feel like it's psychological, because they say you cannot love two people, or you can only love one person. So if he's still in love with his wife, why is he still going outside? And if is it a self-control thing, or is it something that was not embedded in us when we were growing up?
So, what happens is the women are taught how to sit properly, how to look after themselves, how to behave properly. Most men were not taught self-control. Really, what men are taught is how to protect themselves with condoms. You are not taught how to have self-control. That's why you see in the society today, we have a lot of men that are cheating. And the few ones, let me go spiritual, the Christians, you see, even pastors cheat. Why? Because of lack of self-control. And I will go spiritual, and I will go with the dimension of the personality research that I did. So spiritually, if you understand what Paul said, he said we die daily.
Okay.
So you kill yourself daily. What does that mean? Self-control daily. But there are sometimes you have some issues, your emotions. If you can control your emotions per time, you will definitely not cheat.
Now let's go into the part of the upbringing, that when you the ladies and all that, because we come from an African background.
Yeah.
We cannot speak for the Europeans. We cannot speak for the Americans, the South Americans. We can't really speak for them, or the Asians. But we come from an African background, and I remember when I was growing up.
Yeah.
When we were growing up, we grew up in the same household. So our dad was always about read and ensure you are financially buoyant. Ensure you're financially buoyant. Nobody spoke about when you're financially buoyant, there's some things that you attract that if you're not wise enough, you're going to misuse. Like in your 20s, in your teens, in your 20s, the lady you were chasing after was probably chasing after someone bigger or someone higher.
Yeah.
And that will get to you. And you're like, don't worry now, when I make it. And the moment you make it, you forget that you had someone you were caring after. You become that same person that was probably looking down on your love.
Yeah.
And now you're out there just vandalizing people.
Yeah.
Now, the ladies were taught to keep themselves.
Yeah.
To preserve themselves.
Yeah.
Not to get swallowed by men and all that. And men were not taught to keep themselves also. Now, but men were not taught to vandalize. So what brought about that spirit? Like if you go to Nigeria, for example, you say there's no love in Lagos. It's a hell show there. Men don't want to get married. Women want to get pregnant for you to trap you to get married. Then before you know it, everybody's the baby mama.
Yeah.
So I want us to. Do you think parents are doing the best to curb, or do you think it's the fault of the society and parents for us having loose men?
Absolutely. The primary agent of socialization is the family. The divorce rate in the world now is at an all-time high, alarming. If we have societies that hold values high, we'll have better children. We have a lot of dysfunctional children in the society.
And now becoming parents also.
Yes. I met someone in 2024. Mm-hmm. And we had the conversation. And the next thing he told me was never getting married.
Straight up.
But he has 5 different girlfriends. But he was never getting married. If you do not want a relationship or marriage, why do you keep a relationship? Why do you have women around if you do not want them? So the first thing you will see is lack of commitment. Men don't want to get committed. They just want to play around. Why? John Locke says human beings are born with a clean slate. Anything you see is what you've learned over time. What are we teaching the younger ones? What are they learning? What are they picking from us? I remember whilst growing up, our father sat us down and he told us, you know the sweetest thing in life? Yes, he said it was sex. When you have an orgasm, that is the sweetest thing in life. But do you know what he said? He said it is the sweetest when it is with your wife.
Yeah. He said that. He said it in our dialect. Actually.
Yes, it is the sweetest when it is with your wife. Mm-hmm. He was trying to teach us. He has done it all. He knows what it is. But it is the sweetest with your wife, meaning commitment. People are no longer getting committed because everything is outsourced now. You need a baby, very easy. You need a woman for just a weekend to show your parents.
Very easy.
Everything is outsourced.
You can even get an app.
You can get a dating app. Everything is outsourced. We have lack of commitment. And the men are not taught self-control because naturally men are hunters. We're to look for, we're the one doing the chasing, we're the ones doing the chasing. You can't box an hunter. He's going to the field to look for something to kill. And what does he kill? The low-hanging fruits, the easiest ones, the easy prey. That's why women are taught to be guarded. Don't fall cheap. Don't be easy.
Now, the part of men are hunters. Women do not like to hear that word. They say, you're not hunters, you're a human being. Okay. Now you just brought out that part. Men are hunters. Yeah. That means I can be in a relationship and I'm still thinking about the next prey. I'm thinking about what I'm fine. There's nothing wrong with my relationship. There's nothing. The lady is giving me everything. If it's sex, if it's food, if it's respect, she's giving me everything. But I still want to hunt. I don't know if you've done any research, but how do you kill that hunger to hunt? Because don't tell me self-control. Self-control is, to me, self-control is when you get the meal, you do not eat it. Or because sometimes you don't even hunt. The meat just comes. Okay. The meat just comes, like they throw the meat at you.
So I will give you a quote from one of the people I consider the wisest man, one of the wisest men on earth, my father, our father. He will tell you the meat you do not want to eat, you do not buy it.
The meat you do not want to eat, you do not buy it. Very true, very true.
When you have a taste, you want more. Sex is the sweetest thing. Once you taste it from another place, you want more. And let me explain this. Why we have this dysfunctional society. I remember Pastor Dolapo Lawal was speaking about fornication, and he said the reason we have issues in marriage is because we have something to compare.
Yeah, true.
You've had sexual intercourse with this person and this person. Somebody would have done it better.
Someone was a
and pro. God bless you if it is not your wife. You will always you have that expectation. The reasons we have these issues in marriage is because there's an expectation. We've tasted something better. My wife might be homely and cooking for me, but in this aspect of sex, somebody has done it better. And if that person is still available, then there's a gap, there's a lacuna in my marriage. Why? If that person is available, I can still go and hunt. The devil just needs to cause friction. I'm out, I'm hunting again. I've gotten my satisfaction.
But the part where you do not hunt and it comes to you, like, I still go back to the society. There's this saying in the society: married men are enticing to ladies because they use the word responsible. Not responsible that they are not going to cheat, or responsible because they have everything taken care of. They know how to take care of a woman. I was speaking to one of my female friends and she said, nowadays ladies understand that most of them will not get married. It's crazy. They know that most of them will not get married.
Yeah.
They know that most of them might never ever get married. And the only way they can feel a little bit of marriage is if they have a married man. Because he will treat them like a wife and not treat them like any other lady. But it is contracted. When I mean contracted is they know when to act, they know when not to act. Yeah. And that way they can still live their life as a baby girl. And I said, don't you want to get married? The next thing she told me was, who should I marry? Is it the person I'm supposed to marry that I jilted or I played with his heart when we were in our 20s? Because a lot of women have used their their husband as
Boyfriend.
not even boyfriend, friend zoned.
Very true.
Deadly friend zoning. Like if the boy comes out, motor will jam his head. That's how deadly. And now those people have gotten married to another person, and to a lucky babe that just, because the way the married thing is, you don't know, you can be Miriamaka praying to Jesus every day and you not see anything.
Yeah.
And one body is always on short skirts walking around, and one brother is your mother will die on and she'll get married. Okay. So there's no blueprint for a lady to say I'm going to get married, and there's no blueprint for a guy to say I want to get married. The only thing is, if a guy sees a lady that says, this one, I will not let this one go, and the next thing he says, I'm going to die on your matter.
Yeah, very true.
Where I'm going to is, sometimes men do not hunt. Like a guy is, everything is working well. He's in his home, he's working. All of a sudden, a colleague just picks interest in him because of the way he acts, the way he talks about his wife.
I understand.
And then she goes like, this man will be so nice.
Yeah.
Then she doesn't even know. She just gets close to you because of the way you talk about your wife, and she's just happy to just talk about. Before you know it, you guys are becoming very close. You're talking, and that's when the devil now makes your wife a stranger.
So let me explain this. There's a science to it. You see, there's a saying that says a rich man has many friends, and sugar will always attract ants. That is how it is with married men. You will always attract the opposite sex.
Even when you're not looking.
Always.
I still don't understand this, because I think I need to get the lady on this show, because how does a married man entice you so much that you forget he's married and you just want to be involved?
It is because you are seeing what you want in that man. You are single but you want to be married. You need somebody that is married. You need somebody, a figure, a picture of what you want. That's what you are saying. It is not every married man that is appealing to the opposite sex.
True.
It is the ones that are doing it right.
It is the married man that is doing it right, doing marriage right, that is attractive to this.
Yes.
So that means if a married man is not being attracted to the opposite sex, he's not doing.
You are not doing it right. If you are married and you are not getting advances from people, it means you are not doing something right. People are supposed to be jealous of you and your wife. If you are not always putting your wife out there, when you are speaking, you don't have conversations about my wife. Oh, my wife said this. It means you do not even love your wife enough.
And then they say, okay, he's not.
Because two has become one.
So I like what you just said now. A man becomes attractive to the opposite sex when he's married because he's doing marriage right. Wow, that's powerful there. Because as a married man, you will not even know.
Yes.
You will not know. You just find out that they're just there.
Yeah.
They're just there. They're like, and you get this kind of talk like, why did you get married?
Yes.
Why did you get married so early? Why didn't you wait? You know, those kind of sensitive talk, and you're like.
So how I curtail those talks, or how I deal with them, is one thing I know about relationships. The number one rule is it is communication, constant communication that brings love.
Constant communication brings love.
When I and my wife were cutting, we had a lot of conversations. We spoke regularly, and it resonates with every other person. When you continue to speak to someone over a long period of time, you develop emotions for them. It is what you constantly spend your time with, you develop emotions for.
It's like a garden.
Yeah.
The garden you nurture.
Yes.
Will surely blossom.
Yeah.
And thank you. That brings you to office romance, because this is something that is very deadly.
Very rampant.
Very, very rampant. Because you can. I got married from office romance.
Okay.
Once you and someone become really close and you spend the day, every single Monday to Friday. Sometimes you can even work overtime and spill into Saturdays.
Yeah.
So 7 days of the week, and you get married. You spend this 6 days with this person, and in Lagos, you might even be the person. Funny enough, you might even be the person to drop the person at home. So you spend like all the day together.
You just sleep apart.
You just sleep apart. And guess what? You guys can get home and say, there's this thing you're not done, no. You guys will still talk about it, and God help you, your wife is not she's not this office thingy kind of person. When you bring office talk to her, she doesn't want to hear it. She's more of the soap opera, those kind of person. And you meet and you have an industrious person that wants to think about creating solutions to problems and those kind of, and you have that person at work. Then something clicks. You guys are talking and talking and talking. We're not talking about being single now. She might even be married. Do you get? Married man, married woman.
Yeah.
And all of a sudden, there's a small spark.
So let me explain this. I always tackle problems from the root cause. So one thing I've discovered over time is people stop doing the things they were doing while they were courting. They stop doing them in marriage.
Is it people, or does it play to a particular gender?
No, it's people. It goes both ways.
Okay.
As a man, what you were doing while you were courting, if you stop them, it brings a crack in your marriage. So let me explain. We have different personalities. Mm-hmm. We have 4 different types of personalities. We have the choleric, we have the sanguine, we have the melancholy, and the phlegmatic. For you, you are a sanguine, and your wife is phlegmatic. You meet, you align. There's a middle ground. That is your dominant personality. Mm-hmm. You are fun-loving. You are the happy-go-lucky guy. Everybody wants to be around you. Once your wife cannot keep up, or once there's a break and she goes into her shell, you need energy.
I need to feed off something.
You need to feed off something. It's the next thing. And the person you spend the most time with is the person you develop emotions for. Before you know it, that person that is giving you that energy, you start to develop emotions. So what do? That is where you draw the line. What people do not do nowadays is they do not draw the line. You wear the ring, but you still in your head, you are not married. You wear the ring, you know you are married, but in your head, you do not draw the line.
Or you think nothing will happen, I'm in control.
So, the Bible says, he that thinks he standeth, let him take heed, lest he falls. That is why the best solution for when you are caught off guard or when you are caught in a mess is to run like Joseph.
Flee.
But you see the case of Joseph, never leave anything behind because it will always be used against you.
He left his clothes.
Flee with everything you have. Flee, just run.
You hear? Run.
Because you can never fight the sweetest thing
in the world.
You can never fight it. And
so you're saying sex is the sweetest thing in the world?
Yes.
Child.
You can have all the whole money. But you see, once you get to that climax or orgasm, that is the sweetest sensation in the world. Scientists have proven it.
Really?
Yes, you can Google it. The sensation from sex is the sweetest thing in the world. You need to know how much hormones are generated. Don't worry, it's not a talk show for
Now, George, thank you for establishing all those parts. But I still want us to go back to the root.
Okay.
Because you just said something that if you're going to tackle a problem, you have to go to the root.
Yeah.
And I say this thing with my full chest.
Okay.
Not only men cheat in marriages.
Yeah.
Women cheat too.
Yeah.
But a man will not come outside and say, my wife has cheated. He will hold it to himself and solve it in a family issue. But if a man cheats, the woman announces it outside.
So I think that is a bias. I think it is dependent on the individual.
Not the gender.
So I've counseled a number of married people, and I can tell you it goes both ways. It goes both ways. But it is dependent on the maturity of the people in the marriage. The only ramification for divorce in the Bible is unfaithfulness. But you see...
Not domestic violence.
No. Do you know why? Jesus said in the Bible, the only reason is unfaithfulness. Why? You would have seen the signs of domestic violence before getting married.
But you said I will pull head.
But you see, you can marry a reverend father and he will still cheat. He's a reverend father, but he will still cheat. Why? He's a hunter, he has libido, and you have to die daily. Imagine dying to those things daily. At least one,
one day.
When you go to the gym, you still have your cheat days.
Yeah.
One day you can still fall. That's why you're human. That's why you have blood.
Who do you blame for this? Because the truth is,
who do we blame?
Who do we blame for it? Because if you look at it holistically,
yeah.
If a man is punching daily, like punching daily, will he still have the power to go and punch outside?
So I once interviewed, I counseled a boy. He was a chronic masturbator watching pornography. One day he did it 6 times in one day, and I was like, how did you
generate
the strength to release 6 times in a day? So it is not about punching every day. You can... I've counseled people that are, Christians will say, of the world. They will tell you, I went to this A's house, I just finished there, side chick called me, I went again, and I did there. It is not, you can go on and on. In fact, even with your wife, when you finish, you just need to stand up, take a
just
cup of water or something, you are back, and because it is the sweetest thing, you are prone to always wanting to do it. You can never have enough of sex. And our bodies are wired this way. We have different levels of libido. Some people have high sexual libido, some just normal, some very low. So you need to understand your spouse. You need to understand your spouse.
Thank you.
Not your girlfriend, your spouse.
But bros, now girlfriend, they turn wife. Thank you. This understand your spouse. How do you know you have high? Because this the Christian home says no sex before marriage.
Yeah.
How do you know you have high libido before you have sex?
When you get married, you consummate your marriage.
Before you get married, we're talking about matching your energy.
Yes.
Now, I am keeping myself for marriage. My girlfriend is keeping herself for marriage.
Yeah.
We're both keeping each other. We've not tested each other's works to know if you can carry my energy. Because, no, we were at the bar about like 5 years ago. Colleagues were talking. And before we go back, this same thing brought up an argument. He said, the guy said, I have a sister. Okay. Now she's complaining that the man is unfaithful. And I reminded her, when you go and watch him play football and he's running around, not getting tired, your mind did not tell you that this guy, this one we know the tire. The other men are holding waist. And he's still running around. So much energy. Where do you think he's going to quench that energy? So, and she's like, you can tell, because he might be that kind of person, and when he gets there, he's not a sexual person. Yeah. And someone that will just sit down, very quiet. Once you off clothes, you say, woo, wow. Yeah. Do you get? Yeah. How can I determine my woman's sexual energy if she has never had sex before? She doesn't know how it tastes. I don't know how it tastes. Yeah. Because I remember, you can never forget the first time. Yeah. You know that first time, now so it be. Some people might taste it like, oh, is this sex? Oh.
Yeah.
And someone like, oh my God, I'm coming here again.
Yeah.
Two single people that have not tested their fireworks get married. And they finally consummate the deal. The first night, the learning phase, they say they should learn how to do it by each other. They will not be saying, where should I put it? They do everything. They finally have sex. One person might, I am getting this done after another 5 minutes. The other person like, oh my God, this is it.
Yeah.
Immediately, that's a problem. Immediately, that is a problem.
Okay.
So, how do you match sexual energy? Because if we are going to follow the Bible and everything, you should not have sex before marriage.
So this is the thing. When I speak to people, I try to tell them, manage your expectations. The reasons we have friction is because of our expectations. As human beings, for my personality study, we have unique experiences. Your unique experience is what shapes you. Number one, the family you come from, your culture, your unique experience, your temperament and character. They shape you. If you have had, I once spoke to a lady, she was in our school then. When she was younger, her mom took her for deliverance. Guess what? The pastor in charge of the deliverance raped her.
Basically.
Pastor that was supposed to conduct deliverance raped her.
Blood of Jesus.
Her uncles, it was a family house, so uncles and everybody was always coming around. They were touching her, molesting her. Guess why I counseled her? They caught her in the guest cell. Just her colleagues, her students, her friends. They caught her with another lady. She was deep into it already. So both ways, both gender.
She doesn't care.
If you had seen her then, you would judge her. She is bisexual. But you do not know the root cause of all these things. So people have expectations. The day she gets married, I'm not sure her husband will be able to match
no matter the sexual energy.
Do you know why? It is the corruption of old. If two virgins come together and they keep themselves from marriage, it's always a different story. But the problems we have now is somebody has been corrupted somewhere and brings that baggage into marriage. And they have expectations. So
a lot of dysfunctional people are getting married without treating the problem.
I had one relationship that I broke off before getting married. It was a 3.5 year relationship. For 6 months, I was going through a lot, like what Nigerians would call it. I didn't step out of my house in 6 months. The only place I went to was
go and play football.
That was my therapy sessions with my friend. I remember Dennis. That was my therapy. I didn't go out. Do you know what it is to lose 6 months of your life? Just because I broke off a relationship that I seemingly thought was going to lead to marriage. That's what happens. You heal before going into the next. What we do is we use the next to heal.
And it goes both ways. It goes both for both genders.
So you heal. It was until I healed. And after healing, I didn't go into a relationship immediately till after 1 year, 6 months again. That's 2 years plus the 6 months.
But during those periods, did you vandalize?
At all.
Hallelujah.
Once you do those, you can't use sex to cure what you enjoyed in a relationship. Sex is when you release, it's just for that moment. Tension just goes.
You go and sleep first.
You go and sleep. When you wake up, you start again. People use, and one thing you need to understand is, even in marriages, people use sex to kill tension. Some people use alcohol. Some people use even cigarettes. Some people use sex. And when you meet those kind of people, there could be friction because anytime there's tension, the man wants it. And you may not be in the mood. Yeah. The woman may even be on a period. How does it kill tension? He's looking for my wife is on a period. Next thing. Maybe it's going out.
It just dries out. Thank you. Do you think polygamy can cure unfaithfulness?
You can't use two wrongs to make a right. You are trying to cure you are trying to give him self-control, and you're bringing sugar again.
This guy.
You want him to have self-control and not cheat, and you're bringing in another wife. Remember, we always like new things. No matter how old your car is, once you have a new baby, that's your new baby. You take your new car to the places once something is new, you want it is. Once an iPhone 17 comes out today, we forget there's an iPhone 16. We want the new one. We always want something new. No matter how long you've used the old one, you always want something
new. No matter how long that old one has served you,
you always want something new.
And I think that's the problem. That is the problem. That it's new, it shocks, and they say always keep the marriage fresh, always keep it new, always keep it. How do you keep it new? Something that has spent 25 years. How do you keep it new? How do you keep it refreshed? How do you keep it bubbling? Because see finish the marriage though.
Yeah.
See correct see finish.
Anybody that see
your nakedness will see you finish.
That's it.
Correct see finish.
Yeah.
And the one outside, or the one you are trying to get, or the one that is trying to get you, no, they see you finish.
So let me explain that. You see, we're in this generation. In the Bible, Jesus said people should go to the pagans, to the people of the world, to learn how to make money, to learn wealth control. And that is what the Bible also taught about Delilah. People forget this Delilah story and the Jezebel story. We are too holy in this generation. We are practicing religion and not following Jesus Christ. The strongest man in the Bible, Samson, how did he fall?
On top of my lap.
So, one thing our generation, you see, we have a lot of woke women and they call it feminism. And I did sociology in my study. Do you know what feminism is? It's just advocating equal rights for men and women. Nothing about I'm a feminist, I'm this, I'm the woke culture. If you can apply the Delilah rule, you want something from your husband, put him on your laps. But now it's an altercation. Nobody's putting anybody on the laps again.
Put my head on your lap. And that is what the new person is going to do. He will put him on his lap.
Do you know what your side chick does?
She puts your head on your lap.
The women are no longer doing that. They do that when they're in relationship, you're cutting. Once they're in the house or after giving birth,
a wise man once said, women know how to get into the house.
See, it's just like a man's heart. The way to his man's heart is what? Through his belly, right? He just make his belly sweet. The way to stay there, what is it? Do you know the greatest need of a man? Respect. That is the greatest need. He can be a dwarf.
Hype him.
Just respect him, hype him. That men have ego. Hype him, respect him.
But feminism disregard respect for men.
That is where the woke culture comes in. Nobody is following the Bible again. In the Bible, it says the great wives, what? Respect your husband, submit to them. Husband, what? Love your wives.
But
that's the greatest need of a woman.
But if you read the Bible, before then, it said submit to one another.
Yes.
Okay. Now, so see the thing. So that means respect is both ways. You cannot be outside disrespecting your wife, grabbing different, and you expect your wife to still respect you when you get home. Right? And also, you cannot pass a message to a man and you want to be authoritative.
Yes. So what we have now is women being authoritative rather than putting the man on their laps. You see, the society has so much become dysfunctional that we do not know what to do and how to do it. The way to handle your man is what? Put him on the laps. You want to pass your message, put him on your laps. If you raise your voice at your husband, no matter how right you are, he will never take that advice.
No matter, he will not take it because his ego has been bruised.
Yes. But if you calm yourself like a dove, put him on your laps, and you speak to him, he sings. Women need to know what. Do like Delilah and put the man on your laps. Don't argue, don't fight. Put him on your laps, you get everything you want.
See, in the African culture, I'm going back to polygamy because you said you cannot teach self-control and give sugar. This cheating of a thing was not alarming back then. Or maybe because there was no social media, so if they cheat in the other village, you will not come outside.
So in the older generation, like our fathers' generation and grandfathers, polygamy was the norm. It was a normal thing to have 3 wives.
So before you go there, right? Because as you said, we grew up with one of the wisest men on earth.
Yeah.
And my dad, sorry, I keep forgetting that we have the same father. Our dad he once told me one thing. He said, his father, poor guy, how you always call him, has how many? Is it 13 or how many wives? And even when he was weak and old, if he shouts in his room, every of the wives, they comport themselves. I don't think if a crippled man now will shout at his wife, the man will.
They'll just push him off the wheelchair.
If you shout again, you will die here. You will not eat. Do you understand? How can a man be crippled, right?
And
command so much respect? Is it that because we see the whole cheating thing, right? Anytime I talk about this thing, they feel like I'm being defensive. But the whole cheating thing is everybody has a role that they've played. This same man that you're saying is a chronic cheater now was a young boy, innocent. And all the girls he was falling in love with were just breaking his heart, following a senior bros that had money. So in his mind, he said, so I have to have money. When he now had the money, he's now, all the people that broke my heart before, now go hear what? Now, guess what? He now finds a lady that, this one, I can't let this one go. He marries her, puts her in the house. But he still has this vengeful heart that these other ones, I will slay.
So that's the first thing. Like I tell you, your trauma and everything, heal before going to marriage. And when you are dating somebody, ensure you speak to them so much that you understand them fully healed from every trauma.
Not what are you bringing to the table.
Not what are you bringing? That is part of the conversation, right? But you should have that conversation of what were your childhood traumas? What gives you PTSD? We don't have these conversations while cutting again. It is what are you bringing to the table? How much is in your bank account? What can you do?
Can you take care of me?
Can you take care of me?
Can you afford my cream? Now he can afford your cream, he can do everything, but you are complaining that he is cheating.
Yes.
Did you see the signs?
Exactly.
Because I always say this thing. You cannot date a playboy and all of a sudden think you're going to change the playboy when he gets married.
Yeah. You can't change a man. You can't change anybody. People only change when they are willing to change. You can't change anybody.
So even if your woman, your wife, does not put your head on her lap, it's because you ignored the sign when you guys had frictions.
So this is it. You see, you can have a near perfect relationship with someone or your spouse, but you see, situations can shake you guys. For example, the Bible will say, build your house on the rock, right? So there's this story. This couple, they got married after 5 years of marriage, no child. They went to see their family doctor and they confirmed that
the man had issues.
The man had issues. He can't father a child. They just discovered. It's not like then it caused friction in the home. Actually, apparently, it was even the woman that had issues, not the man.
Oh.
With her womb, they could not find. The man was okay, but the woman could not give birth to a child. Then he started giving her cold shoulders. Started behaving somehow. She had office romance. The next thing, she was dating a colleague because of what the man started doing at home. Stopped giving her attention, was giving her cold shoulders, and she found somebody that she could lean on.
So, if someone watches this, their mind will say, if I cheat, it's because of it's someone else's fault.
So that is it. We can push our spouses to the extreme. There's something in law that they call contributing negligence. I didn't do it, but I contributed to what was done.
So a man can be faithful, but all of a sudden starts cheating just because of what is happening at home.
Yes. I've counseled a lot of people, like I said. There was a man that was complaining that he was this close to cheating. Why? He said his wife stopped having sex with him. How do you expect that man to function?
But if she stopped, that means something happened. You know, we are always quick to put blames on people, to say she did this, he did that, she did this, and we keep forgetting that the world is revolving. It doesn't have a standpoint. Something did something solved, something solved. They say that something they solve when something goes solve. So I'm going somewhere. You say your wife stopped having sex with you. You did not say you stopped doing some things that will make her put her in the mood to start having sex with you.
Yeah.
You forget that you come home and you give her. When you come home, nobody's happy.
Yeah.
A woman that is not happy mentally cannot be happy down there.
Yeah.
Collation. Yeah. If you know, they say Yoruba will say, "Oma domicile."
Yeah.
To match well floor.
Yeah. You water the ground.
To your.
Yeah.
Do you understand? You have to pour it on the floor before you can slide.
Yeah.
You get. But that man will have that. Will take that and say, "I'm going to bash," because the truth is, did you see your father cheating? I did not see him.
Yeah.
I did not see. In fact, he will come home and tell us everything that happened in the office.
Yeah.
He will tell the one that made a pass at him. He will tell the one that was looking very fine. And guess what? The next day, my mother will dress up and cack and go to that office to show them that she's hot.
To show that I'm the one in charge.
She's the one in charge. And she will not go back to work again. She'll just take one permission from work. And
how many women do this? How many women have gone to their husband's office
just to show that I'm the wife?
How many people do this?
Most men work 20 years in their office and they don't even know who the wife is.
Exactly.
And the husband too do not know even where. Because I remember
you don't drop your wife.
You don't pick her up. Because I remember then my father too will go to my mother's work. We'll go and greet everybody there.
Yes.
We'll give the gate man money.
Yes.
Those kind of things. Because now the gate man go tell you, say, "Madam, one person on there."
Somebody's coming to pick her. Exactly.
They don't do it anymore. Now the funny thing is they'll buy your wife. The first problem is when your wife has his own car and you have your own car.
It's not really a problem, but you see the thing. You need to create that relationship. You can just now it's better. There's work from home, hybrid work, remote work. If it's hybrid, your wife is going to the office today, offer to drop her off and pick her up that day. How many men still do it? Don't worry, I'll get you a taxi or the driver will drop you.
The driver will drop you.
She's spending more time
with the driver. And driver is doing sit-up every day. 6 packs. If he wants to wash the car, he will not wear complete shirt. He will not be pouring the water, doing like all those Hollywood movie. Wicked people.
So everybody has a part to play. But you see, this thing of teaching our children, both the men and the women, both the boy and the girl, self-control, needs to be adopted. Men need to learn self-control, not just with women, with other vices. I told my wife, I said, I wish I had read Rich Dad Poor Dad earlier in life. And she said, why? I said I would have learned self-control with money. We need self-control on a lot of things.
A lot of things, and we lack that.
Yes, because most children were not exposed to this. You didn't expose them to having self-control.
We only taught how to make money, not to manage it.
Not to manage it. It's just like you give birth to a child. You win the child over and they stop sucking. You are teaching them self-control. You teach before you know they start using diapers, and you win them over to teach them how to stop using diapers. That is self-control. They are learning to, okay, when I want to pee,
I hold it and I go and pee instead of just peeing on the diaper.
So Peter Drucker, there's a famous quote by Peter Drucker which has resonated with me over the years. He said, "To your child, do not pamper, for with your peace he may tamper, and at old age you will still need a diaper."
Say that again.
To your child, do not pamper, for with your peace he may tamper, and at old age still need a diaper. We have a lot of 40-year-old babies
still needing diapers,
still doing things like their kids. Why? Because they were not taught self-control.
So the main thing is self-control. Because if you have self-control and your wife is not giving you can still hold it in.
So this is the thing.
Person know they purge, they shit for pants.
Like Hebrews 12 verse 1 will say, every man has the sin that so it easily entangles us. For some it is the sexual sin, for some it is alcohol, for some it is cigarettes. You know, you have something that...
Your vice.
Yes, your vice. Something that easily gets you. For us, we said it was never money. You can keep $1 million on the table, you will come and meet it there.
I will never thief your money.
Because that's not what it entices.
Yeah.
Yes, that is it.
No talk the other.
Yes, but for some other person, if you keep 1K, you can't meet
it there.
That is it. So know what entices you
and control
it early. Once you find what entices you, start working on it. You see, Jesus showed the greatest power. Do you know what the greatest power is? Restraint.
You know Mario
didn't get married. Even when on the cross, when they were spitting at him, they were flogging him.
He still forgive them.
He could have, all of you just fall down and die. The greatest power is in restraint. You see, when you are angry and you want to react, do you know when you have the greatest power?
Just calm down.
The greatest power is in what? Restraint.
It's not easy.
So it is weak men that what?
Lash out.
And weak men that cheat. Weak men cheat.
Weak men cheat.
Yes. Because it's the easiest option.
Thing. The hardest is not to cheat.
Yes. So if you train your children to be strong men,
they will not
with
cheat.
Self-control, they will not cheat. Not just cheat, they would learn to manage money and work on devices. The thing about men now is we do not even know what our vices are. Some have many. Some have many, which is a big problem. You should just have one, but some have many. Everything
can, only you the thief. Only you they lie. Only you they cheat.
Yeah.
Only you they smoke. Only you they waiting happen.
And sometimes you can match it to poor upbringing. Yeah.
So that means when your man is cheating, rampant, just moving around, go and meet the mother and say, "Mommy, you did the bad job."
Yes. People are not raising great kids anymore. Like, I was listening to Femi Lazarus some days back. He said, what has Nigeria gone into? There were days we were celebrating Chinua Achebe, Dora Akunyili. Those were the people we were celebrating. Now we're celebrating who? Okay, I will not mention names. I'll keep it there.
Saja Bodge.
She's a celebrity in Nigeria.
Saja Bodge.
Are celebrating the wrong things. People do not hold values tight again. The norms of society, there's a big decadence in morals of society. That is the problem. That is the problem. You see a 13-year-old is thinking of doing cyber fraud.
To impress a girl.
To impress what? A girl that will still marry another person.
That will still... Ash!
Because nobody wants to marry a Yahoo boy.
Don't say that to...
People that do that, they have ulterior motives.
Have you met Cider?
If Saida was to see a Femi Lazarus to get married to, she will pick that option because she knows he will never cheat. She doesn't want someone that is going to cheat. Do you know?
True.
But she's cheating with someone else. that is the how the norms of society have broken down. What you do not want, you do it, give it to others. What you cannot take, you give it to others.
Dish it out.
That is the problem of society. Men should be taught self-control and commitment. And women should be taught what? Service.
Thank you, George. Thank you. You've really opened our eyes to a lot. You've really opened our eyes, and I can't thank you enough.
Yeah.
I can't thank you enough. I think this is what we'll draw the curtain because you've already dropped a lot of bangers. They should watch this one. If you do not understand, play it again and watch it again. It's free of charge. You just have to have internet. If you don't have internet, you can go to your neighbor's house and log on to their Wi-Fi and watch. But don't cheat. Just watch the episode. Bro, thank you.
Thank you very much.
Nice one.
Thanks.
I know that was a very impactful episode and you enjoyed it. Please, if you've not yet subscribed, please click that subscribe button and turn on the notification bell. Comment, like, share. You don't know who you're going to help. Thank you for watching. And it's still your host, E.N.E.C.Y. Amebo FC. Peace.